From Nutrien Ag Solutions, this is Senior Meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your Canadian Prairie weather story for Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022. We're a day late today. Appreciate your patience there. All kinds of technical difficulties yesterday. Just had to move the video from Monday to Tuesday this week. No actual change in the schedule. We'll be back to Monday next week. Let's jump on in, though, take a look at temperatures. They are increasingly mild, especially across the west. We've got those temperatures around 10 degrees here early this morning across southern Alberta, central and southern portions of Saskatchewan as well. It's been a mostly dry last 7 days, increasingly mild and dry, again, especially across the west. We did see that storm system over the past weekend bring some precipitation into portions of southern Manitoba. Really missed southeastern Saskatchewan with much of its precipitation as well. Soil temperatures continue to thaw, most mild in the west again, cooler in the east, but starting to thaw out as we melt that snowpack across the region and start to work some periodically warmer temperatures into the region. Satellite picture here, this shows the reason for the quieter week across the prairie. The storm track right now, a parade of storm systems making their way in from the Pacific into the western United States and then through the central U.S. So we've got a storm system here, a storm system there, another wave here across the Pacific. So very active across the central United States. But as we work into next week, we're going to shift that pattern northward. So quiet for now, but active pattern does resume probably in days 5 to 10. Radar right now, we've got some light precipitation, light showery activity north of Highway 16 across north-central Alberta, getting into central portions of Saskatchewan. That is where I expect the precipitation to remain for the next 3 to 4 days. We'll look at the NAM model here. We'll take this through the next 3.5 days, get us through Friday afternoon. Again, seeing some light snow across central Saskatchewan into central Manitoba through the day today. Quiet elsewhere, some sunshine, especially across southern portions of the prairie. Keeping the showers in the forecast north of Highway 16 tomorrow. And then as we head into late Thursday and then maybe Friday, perhaps getting some very light, widely isolated showers, maybe even a couple rumbles of thunder across southern Alberta as we get into, again, Thursday night, more into Friday. So as we look at the next 3.5 days, again, through midday on Friday, precipitation accumulation by type. Again, seeing a little bit of snow from central Saskatchewan into central Manitoba over the next 24 hours, and then showery activity over the next couple of days, generally north of Highway 16, starting to work its way into southern portions of Alberta, perhaps late this week, more likely into the weekend. As we look at the next 15 days, the European ensemble on the left, GFS ensemble on the right, precipitation departure from normal, again, working in a very active, very wet pattern here across the prairie provinces next week. It's as we get into the weekend into next week. So this is the next 15 days, but all of the green you're seeing here is a product of this weekend and beyond as we work the pattern that has been very active over the next 5 days across this region. We start to work this same pattern northward, north of the U.S. border. This is what that looks like. So here's what we've got right now. Storm system across the central U.S., storm system here in the Rockies. These have just continued to parade from the Pacific through the western United States into the central U.S. We've been very active across this region, starting to get some of these storm systems to bring some rain and snow across the northern plains. Again, at times into southern Manitoba, southeastern Saskatchewan. But look what happens here as I take all the drawings I just put on here off of there. As I animate this into next week, now the storm track, we start to build a big trough over Western Canada. Let's watch this one more time. So the parade of systems continues here over the rest of this week. And then as we get into the weekend, now the active storm track doing something like this. We've got a big trough centered here across the Pacific and Western Canada coast. We start to bring wave after wave into the region as we kind of park this wave there, getting into the middle part of next week, into the end of next week. What happens here with a trough aligned like this, these waves are coming in here, they're coming around the base of this, and we've got this big ridge of high pressure now across the central and eastern United States. So the waves lift over that ridge, come right into this region. So that big open, we call it upper level divergence. The winds are fanning out, they're speeding up. We create rising motion right in this region. That's going to lead to, again, a very active, a very wet pattern as we get into the weekend early next week. Looking at this in terms of 24-hour accumulated precipitation. So you can see the storm track shift from here to here as we get into next week, the weekend into next week, really days 5 to 10, looking like a burst of active conditions across the Canadian prairie. Cooler temperatures going to accompany that. We've seen some warm up pushing in from west to east over the last few days. We'll see that continue into the mid and late part of the week. Temperatures becoming very mild across portions of especially Alberta and western Saskatchewan. We'll be seeing those temperatures creep up toward 20 degrees. But again, the heat begins to fade as we get into the weekend early next week. A more active, wetter pattern also accompanied by cooler temperatures this weekend into next week. So again, as we talk about the weekend into next week, we're going to have to work the specifics out as they get a bit closer. But here's what we've got right now. Again, dry through much of this week. Light precipitation north of Highway 16. This is Wednesday. This is now Thursday. Again, as we get into Thursday and Friday, maybe starting to work the first, wave of kind of rather disorganized precipitation into southern Alberta, central and southern Saskatchewan as early as Friday as well. And it's really the weekend into early next week. Now you're starting to see the storm track ramp up. We've got a wave here advertised on Sunday. We've got another one that comes screaming in here on Monday. Another one on its heels here Tuesday. And again, the specifics on how this all plays out, we'll work that out here as we get toward the end of the week into, next Monday's forecast video. You see the difference, but the similarities here between the European on the left, the GFS on the right. Both of which you can see the systems streaking in here, bringing heavier corridors of precipitation. The GFS a little bit more miss than hit. The European a little more broad brush with its, inch to 2 inch precipitation, taking up a lot of real estate. The GFS doing that in a little bit more corridor fashion. Those are the specifics that we'll have to shuffle out and, sort out over the next few days. Are we going to, bring in a soaking, heavy precipitation event for a lot of folks? Or are we going to be talking about, chances for precipitation for a lot of folks, but corridors of heavier precipitation? We'll sort that out over the next few days. Here you see your temperature trends. Again, mild over the next few, big dip as we get into the weekend and early next week. Edmonton, here's a look at your next 10 days. Saskatoon, Regina, Winnipeg, and then that'll take us to the end of the video. So it's rather straightforward at this point. Going to be on the drier side, increasingly mild over the next 3 to 4 days. You get into the weekend and early next week, turning cooler and much more active across the prairie.